guys. So recently I have been thinking about my company that I worked for before I had the twins for almost 5 years. It was almost 5 years, and then I couldn't finish for the last literally few months because I was about to give birth before the school year was over with. But and I've been talking to a friend this weekend that we work together for the company, and we well, she's not here in Japan anymore, and I'm not working for them, but we're just, she just said something to me that, she's a really, really great person, and I look up to her a lot. And she said, our company was good for what's worth. She didn't say anything like super great, like exceeding expectations of the employees. No, but she didn't say it's a bad place anyways. And I never thought it was a bad place. And every time when I would email them with a concern about certain school and certain issue, they wouldn't answer to me right away, and that would bring frustration. But guess what? I'm just one of the many employees they have. And I'm sure being the management of a company that large across Japan, hiring people from all over the world come to teach English here with all their issues of moving in with apartments issues, car accidents, car issues, school issues, whatever they have to do with all of that. And they're not that many in the management, like up high. And so I think for what's worth, my friend is right. It's just I'll always be grateful they hired me, which made me thought automatically about the time when I was hired and how I was hired. Well, first of all, my baby at that time, my third baby boy, was turning 2, which means time for nursery school, which means if he goes to nursery school, this person here cannot stay at home by herself doing nothing, because it's not profitable, because it's laziness, and it's because it brings depression, right? Work and labor in general brings you satisfaction and some money in the paycheck every month, right? So I have to tell you guys that after my third baby was born, I think I mentioned that in previous videos, but I had a really bad with the postpartum depression. I had a really bad. For whatever reason, I felt overwhelmed right away because it was my third kid, and the third kid, like when you have two, it's kind of like you can still kind of handle it, kind of. But when there are 3, all I knew was 2. I grew up with a sister, and that's it. And 3, how do you take care of 3 at the same time? Like, you have only literally 2 hands to hold 2. Just like what I do right now with those cute sleepy heads that are already asleep. But anyway, so I had a really I've seen pictures of me afterwards. I was a living skeleton. I lost all my weight. I looked really depressed, and I looked like super skinny. And that's the summer. No, that's not the summer one. But like after that, I just kept like that way. And I when I went back home in Bulgaria, I remember my parents were asking me if everything's okay with me. Like, why do I look so skinny and so sick, like sickish skinny kind of? And all I wanted to tell them is like, I just want to stay here. I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want to. And I think they know it. I think they know without me telling them. But I didn't, at that point, when you're into that moment, you don't really think about the future as far as, what are you going to do with your life when your kid is 2 years. I was nursing him up until he was 18 months. Just for comfort. He before he napped or slept at night, he just needed mommy. And so literally husband was making fun of it. He was at one time I remember he was at the sink in the kitchen, and I was on the couch nursing him for, it was like after lunch, so maybe he was ready to nap, so I was nursing him, and he just turned around and like with this like gloating face, and like, are you still nursing him kind of like thing? And I'm like, in my head I was thinking that's my last kid, so I will try as much as I can to have this relationship with him and just keep him as close as I can, because once I let them go, they grow, that's it. And so I don't expect men to understand that, I just don't expect anything anymore from anybody anyways. But anyway, so there were exchanged phrases like, well, he's gonna go to nursery school soon, so. And then I had those friends at church. They were from the States, and they were going to church with us, so I would see them on Sundays at least, and then I would be venting to the wife a lot. We were, I would say, close friends at that time, and I was grateful to have her around me. But the husband was working for that company, and I don't know, he recommended me, but like before that you have to talk to me, right? I guess he talked first to the husband. See guys, everything, whatever happens here, everything I hear last, everything I'm suggested is like made decisions behind my back or suggestions behind my back. And so, and then here I am like trying to be convinced that it's a good thing, you go to work, you have to work, it will feel better, you'll be teaching English, and little kids are fun, blah 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 blah. And before you know it, I was doing demo videos to show how I teach English with all the requirements and Skype interviews, and before you know it, I have to go to initial training, like far away. I had to figure out a way to go there with a train across the different island, the main island, because we're in a different island here, and had to catch something like at 5 something in the morning, be there in the hotel a little bit at 7 something, waking up the company staff because I'm there and there is nobody, and I'm freaking out, and they tell me to wait because it's like super early and they're probably still in bed. It was just, this whole thing was like, I don't regret it, make no mistake, I don't regret it, but it's just why all decisions have to be made for me. Why I can't I don't even have the time with 3 kids back then to sit down and think and figure out my future, because everything has to be done for me and everything has to be figured out for me, and I just have to do what I have to do. I guess that's how it works in this freaking country, like all the time with everything. And so even if the intents were good, to do good for me, and that I will feel better for my mental health, it's just the fact, the core, the intentions at that point don't matter to me, because it's like I could have come with that idea on my own. And then the husband and the wife, the husband who was working for that company, they were planning to leave, so he gave me all his stuff that he had, all his flashcards, all the stuff that he used for work, and he gave me suggestions, and then he told me something. He said that when you recommend a friend, you have to tell them as much as you can the company for that person you're recommending. And he said that he told them that I've been teaching English in my house for years, and that I have 3 little kids, and life is rough, and he said, I'm sorry, but I told them also that you can have moments of when you're depressed and stuff like that. And so I was like, I just brushed it off. I was like, yeah, that's fine, don't worry about it, because I don't want him to get into the details of, you have no idea what it's like to have 3 kids. But I was at that point, I was like grateful, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, don't worry. And I swear to you guys, every time And there were many of those days when I would go to work really angry. It's because of the frustration in the house, because of this feeling of you don't matter, you're just there to take care of the little people there and make sure their stuff is done for. But then everything else, don't worry about it, it's all taken care of. It's like you don't feel needed, you don't feel recognized, you don't exist, pretty much. It's just like life goes on, everything is fine, meals, sleep, meal again, prepare, get to work, get to the babies, the kids to school, come pick them up after school, pack again, meals, laundry, like life goes on. It's just that's how it is here. It's just like really, really passive lifestyle. And so I just thought about that. I don't know, it just made me think about it, how I ended up working. And then there were, of course, the cultural shock. I was like, wow, I thought it was hard to be at home in this foreign country, but working in this foreign country is even harder, because they don't teach in the initial training that, by the way, they put all the kids together, all the mental craziness and all the ADHD, everything, people that are on medication every day, and then when I forget it, they bang doors and windows, and they all go together, you guys. There's no like special school for those kind of kids. Everybody's together. And then the rest of the kids that are, I don't want to say, the kids who don't have those mental disabilities, they have to deal with that too. And so I wasn't prepared for that, because I've been kicked, my bag has been thrown in the air with all the stuff in it, and that's in front of my company representatives. Like, just sometimes they come and watch your classes, and then we discuss the pros and the cons and whatever. So I've had difficult times, but mainly I was grateful. And the only regret I had was that somebody else was taking care of my kids and seeing them doing their first stuff, not me. But that's normal in Japan too. They learn to hold their chopsticks properly in their nursery school. They learn to be strong and kind and all that in the nursery school. Probably is better anyways, because I would make them worse if they were home with me alone. I cannot barely survive with them together right now in the weekends. I hate the weekends. But yeah. Anyway, and I hate the weekends, not only because my kids are just really arguing with each other all the time, and like for little stupid things, and I also have to take care of those two and make sure they're potty trained at least once or twice a day, and deal with all the loads of laundry and friends coming over. Make sure you don't yell when the friends are coming over, no matter how much they stomp and show attitude. Meals, that's another thing. Getting the groceries for those meals, managing your meager amount of money you have to survive with, and all alone on top of that, because Mr. is so super busy, he's never home, and when he's home he's with his phone lying on his bed or whatever. Yeah, that kind of life. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about going back to work, but those two will turn to next year, and so I probably have to at least get a paycheck so I can pay for the airfare to go home, see my parents. That's another thing, like when I start working, it seems like everything everything that I make is usually it's supposed to be savings of some sort, but everything goes for paying insurance for 7, paying the taxes for the cars, paying big amounts of money that they need yearly, this month this, that month this. Every time something comes up, and every time I have to go and get money from the bank. Yeah, so I don't know how much of savings I can, because trips to Bulgaria are quite expensive from here. I have to change to two airlines, I think, or two airlines. You have to 2 stops you have to go, and they're it's not like it's difficult, and it's difficult. It was difficult with 3. By the way, I also flew to my country with my 3 boys when they were small. The oldest one was 1st grader. You can just imagine. The other were nursery school kids, and I was flying with them alone to Bulgaria, changing to airplanes. And my mother-in-law actually bought me from the Dollar Tree shop dog leashes, 3 of them, no, 4 of them. So 1 connected to me and 3 for them. And gosh, I'm so stupid. And then I actually put them in the backpack that I was traveling with. And but I never used them though. I even showed it to my dad, and he just laughed. He was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." But they were good. They were great. They were helping me push the suitcases with the wheels, and they were great sports. It was a nightmare though. I remember it was really hard. And then traveling again with those, when those were with my tummy to Hawaii, that was like, oh my gosh. Anyways, back to the company and back to going to work. I think so my friend told me, I said, you know, it might do you some good to just be out there and you know, teaching us, like interact with little kids, and you know, those teachers that at least attempt to befriend you or something, you know, just like, I mean, you cannot really you cannot really have friends here, seriously. They just put the walls right away. There's a certain information they would give you, and it's about work and then about themselves. They just shut down and they just leave and ignore you afterwards, and it just becomes really awkward. So we just call them colleagues, right, or acquaintances or whatever. But I'm okay with that. I never really jumped into hey, let's be friends with the teacher next to me on the desk. No, never really. I just went out there and played with the kids all the time. But now I'm like 40 and my knee hurts, and one of my ankles, I don't know, it's just like really weird. I don't really feel like I can go and run with those kids again anymore, and probably would, but yeah, I'll be just constantly worried about those 2. At least at the beginning, it will be just quite the adjustment too. I love them so much. We're just so attached to each other. I cannot imagine going somewhere being without them with me, you know. It's just really weird. When I go shopping with my oldest on Saturdays in the farmers markets, it just feels really weird. Like, I'm worried, are they okay there? Did they trip on something? Did they drop something? Did they poke their eyes with those pencils and whatever? Did they escape the house and nobody saw it? It's just really, I worry. I think that's another thing. I just worry a lot. That's what I do. I worry. No, not just me. Oh, and by the way, I'm not making those videos for people to watch, to listen, to feel sorry, or to whatever. I just make those videos for myself, okay? So one day I'll look it up and I'll be like, gosh, you did that, good job. Kind of like, I don't know, it's just like my digital journal. And I don't really accept any suggestions of you should do a video about what you have in your baby bag, or just about you and your babies are so cute, whatever. Yeah, my babies are cute, all right. And as much as they came in the really weird timing, and what the heck, I'm 40 now and I have baby twins. It's like, what? I never really expected them to come, but I consider them being the biggest blessing of my life. Like, I think my kids are, you know, what I leave behind, and it's just, they're great. No matter how weird they can be at times, they're great. They're all I got. So that's that. Everything else comes and goes. People can be fake, people can lie to you, people can betray you, people can just try to treat you like, I don't know, you're just the nanny or whatever. I don't care. But I just want my kids to know I'm there for them. And that's kind of hard when you're like full-time worker and you come home beat up from work, super tired, and there's still 5 people you have to feed and take care of and all that. And you know, there will be days when they will be sick and stuff, and I'll be even extra worried. Those two, they have somewhat of a relationship with their grandfather, but they don't really know much about their grandmother. She's so busy working. And you know, being the 100% supportive mother to her firstborn son, that's just fine. Like the perfect team together. I just wonder why he had to marry, even like why he had to marry and just go home and do your business and get yourself stable, and then go find yourself like a little Japanese quiet lady to babysit your kids, and boxes checked, and that's fine. Life is good. I don't know, but it is what it is. Have to face it, have to go through it, have to nail it. Yeah. This is the rice that was barely put into the water, and this is the rice that has been already in water for a while. You can see the difference. See, this is more in the water. This one, the water is already evaporated, or like deep down there. It's just really cool, the different phases of the rice. And this one is beautiful too. The dirt is cracked but still wet. It's really cool. And this is all, guys, I thought it was vines of some like grape whatever, but this is all kiwi plants. It looks like vines, it's made like that, but it's kiwi. And it gives fruit in the winter, by the way. Weird. I don't know much about kiwis. Yeah. Working after 2 years of not working, and then even before that, like with raising 3 kids and then going to work, it's kind of like, okay, you have to leave behind the baby talk and like the high-pitched voice and the, you know, the how much you love to hug your babies and kiss them all over and tell them how much you love them. You can't really do that at school. You just have to shut down and bury your emotions like deep down there. And no matter how much of crap you feel like when you go to work every day, and how worthless you feel, and how you just, there were days when I would stop the engine of the car and I would just sit in the car just to calm down and don't have like red eyes with tears just like that. And I had to do that a lot. And so to numb that, I was using like really loud music, really loud, so I could just listen to the music and not be thinking deeply in my head why life is so screwed up, and why on the surface it looks so wonderful and beautiful and great, and when it's not. But yeah, I'm sure I'll have those days again, but I think I've been growing a little bit, and I'll try to be more in control of my feelings and basically get numb. I understand why people get into their alcohol and their drugs in there. It just makes you numb, makes you escape the reality that you don't like, that you live in. Of course, in control of your life and choices. I'm a strong believer of that. But sometimes life slips you here and there, and sometimes it's not just your fault. And sometimes your feelings of something's wrong and everything's wrong, or you're not feeling happy, your feelings are validated because it's not like up to you all the time. And happiness is something that you choose to do. I agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that you cannot just live in limits and being just this item there in the house, and and somebody else has to take the decisions for everything. No, I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's right. So yeah. I think I'll just turn around. I want to have like a little longer walk today. And when I feel like today, like those days, in a very, very low keys, I just want to ignore people and avoid them. Actually, that's the word that I was looking for. Avoid people. I don't want to stop and smile and bow and say konnichiwa or good morning or whatever. I don't feel like that. Not today. You know, there's this on BBC channel on the news. Sometimes after the news, I don't remember which days of the week it was. I don't know if it's once or twice a week or how many days a week, but it's called Hard Talk. And I like it. I like to listen to it because that guy, I mean, I like journalists. I once wanted to be one when I was very little. Actually, that's stupid. I was an elementary school kid and wrote an article and wanted it to be published. Gave it for publication to the local town newspaper, but I don't know. I don't remember. I think they didn't approve or whatever. But you know, I was thinking that was one of my dreams. Actually, that's why I just like writing and observing people, talking, meeting different people and cultures, and writing. And I guess that's what journalists do. But that guy I really like. He knows how to put you on the spot. And one time he actually had the Bulgarian prime minister. Was it a prime minister or like the minister of foreign affairs or something? He had him on the chair with the Hard Talk, and gosh, I was amazed. Like he would ask him all those questions and accusations and stuff like that people have observed during the years, and why the government in Bulgaria sucks so bad. And the guy, the minister, he just had really perfect English, and I was like, wow, he speaks English really well, and he would have really good points of defense. I was like, wow. You know, the guy, the interviewer guy with the Hard Talk, I would ask him, so why did you do this and you didn't do that? And he said, well, if you look at what we did with that and this, and he just shifted the focus on a different topic and of success that they have done. And I was like, wow, politicians are so twisty and so slimy and ugh. Anyways, you have to be, because when you're put on the spot. So many times I've seen him doing that. And sometimes with the kids we have this Hard Talk on Sundays. Not yesterday, yesterday I just wanted to be done with this freaking weekend. But sometimes we have Hard Talk and we ask each other like tough questions. And I like it because that's when all the fences fall down and we just show like what we really think in our head about each other. It helps. But yeah, I think we should have one seriously soon too. But it's not like something I want to force. It just comes naturally. Like we would have a few minutes before bedtime and we'll just chat and be like, oh, by the way, heart talk time. Hey, you tell me, why do you do this and why do you do that? And you know, they say the truth. They're like, well, I do that because I feel like this way. And I'm like, okay. So we can help by understanding the reason behind it, because all the actions of people have reasons, right? They're deep down there's a reason why people think the way they think and the things they do in certain ways. It's just, that's how it is. And yeah, I like the heart talk thing. It's so good to let it all out. You have no idea. Well, it's 31 minutes of my time talking to myself out loud. It feels good. So I'll leave it here and I'll try to listen to something uplifting right now. Bye bye, guys.